All right, you guys. Welcome back to Beyond the Trail podcast, I guess, where Austin and I like to share our creative endeavors beyond the trail. Austin,
What's going on?
Who showed up, you guys. I'll just go ahead and tell it. We had 1 minute to go. I was getting really nervous.
It was like 4 minutes. 4 minutes. We're having some technical difficulties in the Side Trail Adventure studio. But we pulled it out at the last minute.
And now everything is fixed. We are ready to go. I'm sweating a little bit, but we're ready to get to it. And I wanted to kick off the show, Austin, to see if you could guess with a couple clues a new piece of hiking gear that I recently purchased. I couldn't help myself. Okay, first of all, I'm going to say, first and foremost, I did not need this piece of gear. I didn't need it.
Well, my first guess was going to be shoes, because I know who you are with shoes. But
Nope.
You always need shoes.
Nope. I've added an additional, okay, everybody in the chat, see if you could guess when I hold up this sticker, because I've added another sticker to my collection. Nice. Okay. So if you're a Durston gearhead, there's a big joke on their group Facebook page, which everybody should go over and check out, that when you get new product, you're just buying a new sticker. So I've bought a new sticker this week. Any guesses, Austin? Come on.
I'm gonna say the Z poles.
Yeah. Well, okay. The hiking poles.
Yeah.
You ready? Check those bad boys
sage
out.
Green. That's legit.
Yeah. Look,
are those
they
carbon?
have I don't know what they are. I just know they were Durston. So
Daddy Durston told me to buy them, so I bought them.
No idea if they're carbon. Don't ask anybody. I don't know what they are. But check this out. This is the coolest thing. I was hoping Alpha Gal would be on here because he was showing his off.
Those look awesome.
I'm
a little embarrassed.
Look at that.
I
Look at
didn't
that.
even know he was selling.
On the bottom is one of the Durston tents. I don't know if you can see that. The lights.
Of course it is.
Yes.
Well played, Dan. Well played.
Mike
awesome.
DiCello says, it is not a cult. Hey, Mike, nice to see you on here. So, you guys, I had to do it. Don't ask. I don't care if they're aluminum, skunk. I don't care what they are. Dan Durston used these for his Great Divide Trail, fastest known time, yo-yo, something or the other. So, I just had to have a pair.
I'm a little embarrassed. I didn't even know he was selling those.
Austin. You're the one that got me on this mess.
Well, right, but all of my money has gone into anything with Sony written on the side of it. So so yeah, I've been a little lacking in camping gear lately.
Correct. Well, let's see. Skunk is in the chat. Let's see who's in the chat. So Skunk Ape says from the Hammock Hagers podcast, you could never have enough gear, and that is correct.
That's 100% true.
We got Boots on the trail. Hey, Boots, how's it going? Mike DiCello, who I know is a huge fan of the Hiking Radio Network and listens to all of our shows, has come over to join us here over at Jester Wallis Productions. Thanks, Mike. Alonda, she just needed to know where they were from. Okay, so Alonda, that's right. Alonda, I don't care what they are. I don't know what the specs are. I don't know. Wait a minute. I do have something to say here. It does say... Wait, there's instructions. Look at this thing. It shows you how to use them. It does say how much they weigh, but it doesn't matter. It's a hiking pole. So thanks for joining us, Alonda. Stella's in the house. Roger Howell, Take a Hike Fitness. Hey, Roger. Hope you got my email today. Appreciate you joining us. And I did see Ina up in here, so big hearts to you, Ina. We appreciate you joining. And yeah, so you guys, Austin, why don't we get right to it?
Let's do it.
We have to mention our brand partner, and I'm going to turn that over to you, Austin. Uh-oh.
I'm a visual learner.
I see.
So I got the blings. Yeah, so our partner in all things with Jester Wallis Productions is Hiker Metals. Wim over at Hiker Metals, who
Go
is
Wim.
An awesome human being, an awesome company. He just put out, I want to say it's maybe is about to come out, but I saw it on his Instagram, Metal for the Florida Trail, which looks amazing.
Yeah, and the Ice Age Trail.
And the Ice Age Trail, yes. So he is, I know how much time he put into the Smokeys 900 miler metal, so I know he has just got to be burning the midnight oil with all those designs. Ooh, there it is.
Look at that. Look, I even put you up in the screen. I'm getting better at this.
Like, it's just looking good. But yeah, so go over to hikermetals.com. He's got a whole bunch of stuff already on there, and like I said, he's got some in the mix, but this is the one that I'm particularly having. Come on, you can get in the
that $4,000 camera is not showing us that metal.
Easy tone.
There
we
it
go.
is. Ooh.
There we go. Yeah. So that let's see here. I'm doing this all backwards.
That looks really good.
So we got the outline of Muir Hut, and then obviously the quintessential Alpine Lakes, and then the line obviously is the whole trail itself. But the real cool part about any metal you get at Hiker Metals is you can personalize it. So this is part of a set, and so I bought a set of 4 of these, one for myself, one for my brother, and then one for TMI and Panic for Bad Hikers, because we all met out on the trail. But anyway, so that's my trail name, and then Summer of 21 when we actually hiked the trail. So, and then the other one that I'm just going to show off because it's still my favorite trail is, come on, let's see how
look at there.
Mountains to Sea Trail. And this one, a very special friend gave this to me when we finished I Am the MST last summer. So Jester gave me this as a gift.
Wow, that looks really good.
Right? Doesn't it?
I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Yeah. So he's got medals for all different kinds of trails out there. And I've got a few ideas in mind too. If he runs out of ideas, I've got one ready in the hopper ready to go. So, but anyways, go check out Hiker Metals, because it's the way I look at it is it's one of those gifts that your hiker friends are always going to like. Because obviously I bought one for myself, because sometimes you're looking for gifts for hikers and you really don't know what you want to get them. And the medals are always cool because you don't necessarily have to finish a trail in order to get one. Like, I'm thinking about just go ahead and then pulling the trigger on a Smokeys 900 miler medal for myself, just because I think it's a cool medal, and you can always kind of have it as your kind of a reminder. Like,
there it is.
There it is. It just looks so good. But it's just you can get it there as a reminder, like, hey, this is in my bucket list. And especially we'll go ahead and say the portion of the proceeds from the Smokeys 900 miler medal actually go to the Western North Carolina Wilderness Safety Fund, which is the fund for the Haywood County Search and Rescue Team. So that's a big cause that we're getting behind this year, obviously because of the film that we're doing. I almost said the title again.
Don't say it.
But if you go onto hikermetals.com, use the discount code Jester. That'll get you 20% off. So that's always worth it. But yeah, Hiker Metals, awesome company, and Wim is a super awesome person. I'm so happy that we have partnered up with him. Just nothing but good things. So yeah,
all good things. And I see Hawk in the chat. I'm pounding
up,
back
Hawk?
to you, Hawk. How you doing? And Hawk, listen, I'm throwing this up there. You need 7 of these. So go ahead and place your order for 7 times completing the Appalachian Trail and get yourself a 20% discount. So there you go.
That AT metal looks pretty good too.
It looks really good. And you almost said the name of the film that we are working on, but tell everybody who's joining us next week.
We have the star of the show for our film, Miss Nancy East, who is an amazing hiker, an amazing search and rescue team member, and just an amazing person. And I have loved that we've gotten to know her over the last few months. And we're going to have her on the podcast live next Thursday night. So that'll be fun.
8 p.m. All that information is down in the description. Look at Justin says he needs hey Justin, what's happening? He needs an Allegheny Trail medal. We should shout out the Allegheny Trail as well. We are going to be working with the Allegheny Trail coming this fall, and we are pumped and excited. Thanks for joining us, Justin. And Nicole, if you're on here or you're not on here and you're watching later, we're going to go ahead and say hey to you as well. And you guys, coming up Saturday, April 29th, Austin and I are going to be hanging out somewhere. Where are we going to be, Austin?
I'm looking at my calendar.
Do you remember?
Yeah. I was like, April 29th.
While Austin's looking at his calendar, check this out again, you guys. How awesome.
It's the sage green.
That's right.
But yeah, so April 29th is the Saturday of the Gathering of Friends for the Friends of the Mountains to Sea Trail. So Jester and I are going to be there. And we're going to hang out with some hikers and hang out with some good folks, friends of the trail, and have a good grand old time. So this year they're actually doing it on the campus of NC Central in Durham. So that'll be fun. It'll be fun to get together with everybody and see everybody again. And it'll be much more relaxing for me this year because last year I was in full camera mode. Because that was literally the first time that we started filming for I Am the MST, and so I was bouncing all over the place. I had cameras all over the place. So this year I'll actually be able to enjoy it a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that.
And Saturday at 1:30, there is going to be a class of 2022 hiker panel for all the completers that come to the gathering. And guess who's going to be hosting the panel? I'm going to give y'all in the chat. I'm going to give y'all a minute. Guess who's hosting the panel?
It's not me.
It's not Austin.
But I will be there.
So all of you that got your gathering email that says which session you're going to, you need to choose the hiker panel session, because I'm going to see if anybody says it in the chat. Stella says, Alonda has no idea. She gave us the emoji. I mean, should we tell them who's hosting the hiker panel? Big Blue. I don't know who Big Blue is. Big Blue. I don't have a clue. Do you know who Big Blue? It's not me. Big Blue is not me.
I know.
If I buy 7, do I get the 8th free? You know what, Hawk? If you buy 7 medals, I will make sure you get the 8th free. How about that? I'm putting it out there right now. Yes. If you buy 7, you will get the 8th free. So, no, not Mighty Blue. Oh my God, not Mighty Blue.
I'm sorry. I've got the mental image of Hawk walking around with 8 AT medals on him, and he's not sneaking up on anybody.
Here's Hawk. Here's Hawk with his 8 medals, with his neck hanging down. All right, since you all think Mighty Blue is going to be hosting the Mountains to Sea Trail panel, that is not happening. It is me. It is Jester. Mighty Blue doesn't even know where the Mountains to Sea Trail is. Sorry, y'all.
Well, it'll be fun.
It'll be fun. All right, so hopefully we'll see you Saturday, April 29th. For the whole day. I think it starts at 9, and the hiker panel is at 1:30. We've got some additional things, you guys, that we're going to be at. And since we have a lot of hikers here, East Coast hikers, we are going to be at Alda this year in October, showing our I Am the MST film. So mark your calendars for October. There's a lot going on. But the purpose of this evening was to come on and share with you all, if there's one thing that you can count on with Jester and Austin, I'm not even going to say the word change. It's progression. The one thing you can count on with Jester and Austin is progressing. And I believe the title of this was the benefits of creating a YouTube channel for our company, Jester Wallis Productions. In Austin, I want to start off with a quiz for you and the listeners. You ready?
Oh, geez.
Okay, so this is something I know. It's terrible. It's terrible when I do research and investigate.
Jester's prepared for this episode. She's done her
Well,
homework.
it's just a quiz. I do this all day long, but now I get to quiz adults instead of those under the age of 18. So the question is, and this will lead into the benefits of us creating a company YouTube channel. The question is, on your phone, you probably have several apps. You have Instagram, you have Facebook, or on your computer, you have Instagram, you have Facebook. Some of you have LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, or whatever. So I don't guess it's a quiz. I guess it's a question. So Austin, how often do you on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn go back? Now I want a percentage. How often do you go back and look at people's prior posts, like even a month ago? Do you go on people's Instagrams and search over a year ago what they posted?
When I'm bored.
Or you're stalking. But percentage-wise.
Stalking's a really, that's an aggressive word.
And put in the chat, everybody, do you guys actually go back on people's Instagrams? So, for example, when I go on Instagram, if you don't have anything in your story, I don't look at your page. I don't really go back and look at people's pages. On Facebook, if you don't pop up the first couple minutes, because I really can't stand Facebook, the couple minutes I scroll, I'm not going to look for you. I'm just not.
Yeah.
So I would say for me, 95% of the time on those apps I mentioned, Mike says 20, 90% of the time I don't go back. Or 10% of the time I might look at something prior to the day or the day before.
Yeah.
What's your percentage?
I agree with that. Well, there's actually a well-known fact that 65% of all statistics are made up on the spot. And I would say between 8 and 10%.
Okay. Woo, that's low. Listen, my sister
like I
says,
said,
wait a minute. My sister says, if I have to call someone out, yes.
Yeah, if I'm digging for some dirt.
If I'm digging for dirt, yes. But on those, I'm talking Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I mean, TikTok, you got like 10 seconds. Twitter, I'm never going back. I barely go on Twitter. Skunk says he does 5 to 10%. Mike DiCello, maybe 20%. Stella, very seldom. So, okay. I'm on par here. All right. On YouTube. Actually, I'm going to pull something up. Hold on one second. This will help us with where we're going. So I have a little stat here. You ready?
You really did your homework.
I know I did, didn't I? All right, you guys. This actually kind of blew me away. So YouTube has 2.1 billion monthly active users based all around the world. That number shows no sign of slowing down, with the projected amount of users increasing each year in terms of daily active users. Okay, you ready? YouTube sees approximately 122 million users per day.
That's a lot.
My question is, what would be the reason we would not be on YouTube at this point?
It is a universal platform.
It is. And the moral of the story is, with my questioning, how many times have you gone back on YouTube and watched? I know if Hawk is still on here, I've gone back and I've watched 2019, 2020, 2000. When I need to get inspiration about the AT, I go back and watch his yo-yo hike. I can't tell you how many times I've gone back and watched your John Muir Trail hike. That's almost 2 years ago now. So YouTube is truly the platform, the social media platform where your previous shows might actually do better than
That's all.
what you
You're
put out
100%
right
right.
now.
Yeah. And I've, from a, I've been posting videos on YouTube since 2019, and I still, some of my most popular videos are ones that I posted in 2019 that still do well. My Durston X-Mid video that I posted in 2021, so almost 2 years ago, is my best, most watched video on a regular basis. Every single month, more people watch that video than any other video, even the ones that I posted are brand new. So you're 100% right.
If I could get rid of, I'm actually thinking about doing an experiment and being on nothing but YouTube. The only problem with YouTube is that I see is you can't direct message people. All right, I need people in the chat. What platform would you stay on only and get rid of the rest of the other ones? I would stay on YouTube, hands down. My sister says that she has gone back and started a Murdoch series from day one. I do that more on podcasts and Instagram. Skunk says he binge watches certain people, sometimes more than once.
One of my favorite things to do with like the really popular YouTubers is go back and watch their very first video that they ever uploaded, or at least the ones that they have that are still public. And just watch that progression, because like some of these guys, like the Baird brothers and Joe Robinette, the Canadians that I watched when I first started like really diving deep into YouTube, like they're literally out there with some crappy GoPro, and the audio is terrible and the video is terrible, but they're out there and they're posting it. And yeah, that's my favorite thing to do, to watch people be like, hey, he started somewhere, so I can start somewhere too.
That is, and that's the point. So you've just addressed it right there. Mike says he's been watching Quadzilla's Triple Crown videos. There's a case in point, Mike. I mean, Quadzilla finished up, I think it was in late fall, and you're going back and watching those episodes. And I mean, I do the same thing all the time. And you guys, YouTube has trained us to do this. I mean,
yeah.
But my point of this was I've heard other creators say now is not you're never going to be successful on YouTube. Now's not the time to get into YouTube. And I'm like, well, YouTube has 2.1 billion monthly active users. And I'm going to throw something else up for you all. And this will relate to why we decided to bring the production of both podcasts over to YouTube, because this year in 2023, if you guys read this, YouTube is the most preferred podcast platform among regular listeners, ahead of Spotify and Apple.
Oh, snap.
Austin, what do you got for that?
Well, I've always preferred YouTube over the other stuff. Because I already have YouTube on my phone. And if, YouTube is really trying to, in my opinion, they're trying to push out some of these others, like Apple, for instance, that has been habitually the gatekeepers of podcasting. If you want to upload a podcast, you have to give it to Apple, and then they put it out wherever it's supposed to go. And I honestly like the idea of YouTube coming in, Google, and because they're the parent company of YouTube, coming in and pushing that out and making it more universal and a lot easier, quite honestly, a lot easier to put podcasting content out there, because you kind of needed a guidebook before, and now just put it on YouTube and it does all that stuff for you. Like one of the previous episodes, you were talking about the fact that if you upload something and YouTube will automatically recognize that it's a podcast, and then all of a sudden you've got a podcast tab on your channel, and it's accessible on YouTube Music and all that other stuff. So the benefit of YouTube and Google versus Apple and all the other ones is there's just a lot of horsepower behind that algorithm that YouTube uses. And so it's a lot easier for people that aren't podcast people. Like, and I'll admit, I was not a huge consumer of podcasts before I started talking to a mic. It's a lot easier for me to find stuff now. Like when I'm looking for something to listen to or watch, I can search for it a lot easier. So it only makes sense that we kind of jump on that train.
And I just did some random Googling, if that's the word for it. And, you know, I was putting in like section hiker. I was putting in beyond the trail. I was just putting in different words, hiking, backpacking, you know, video podcasters. And Google, if you're on YouTube, they will pull up your YouTube first. You know, because Google owns everything before you see the Apple or the Spotify, which is crazy. So it'll be interesting.
I love it.
What'll happen if YouTube gives us an RSS feed, because you guys, the complication of loading a podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast, you have to actually pay a service to do that for you. YouTube right now does it for free to YouTube Music. So it only makes sense. So that big, long introduction about YouTube, it only makes sense for Austin and I to have what I'm calling our company YouTube account, where we can show you our short films. We can show you our documentaries. We can, you know, we are producing the live versions of 2 podcasts now. This one, Beyond the Trail, and then Jester Section Hiker. So right now we have a digital portfolio of our work.
Mm-hmm. And it's only going to keep growing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
but yeah, you know, from a video perspective too, it's a good place for all of our stuff to kind of live. Because I've got my Side Trail Adventures stuff, which is, it's kind of, I mean, the Side Trail Adventures is not going anywhere. But the Jester Wallis Productions YouTube channel is a place for our joint video productions to live. So whatever that might be, whether it's the short films, whether it's the trailers from other projects or anything like that. So it just makes sense.
Yeah. And Austin, do you want to tell them about the phone call you got? Because you guys, we only decided this like maybe 10 days ago.
Yeah.
But before you get to that, my sister says YouTube is often a story. It's not snippets. People want to hear the whole story. And then Hawk threw in there, people need earbuffs on his first couple of YouTube videos. I don't know, Hawk. You cussed quite a bit in those early days. So those are kind of fun to listen to. But so, yeah, you guys, we started this channel about 10 days ago. And, you know, we have to build the channel like anything else. So first and foremost, thank you all for being here. And thank you all for believing in us and joining us on the podcast. And sure. Yeah, we're only going to go from here. And the other thing I was going to say is this is the best way to interact with your listeners. As a podcast host, I don't know how to interact with my listeners. I mean, I've got email, I've got DMs, I got all kinds of things. I can't keep up with everything. But if people join us on the live, or maybe if they can't meet the live, they leave a comment in the description on YouTube, we can interact almost, you know, immediately. So I just wanted to throw that in there as well. But Austin, about 10 days ago, I think I sent you a text.
Hey, you got a minute to chat? I've got something to run by you.
I think I said I got another crazy idea.
My response was, "Oh Lord, let me get some coffee."
It was. So what were you thinking?
Who knows? I mean, anytime Jester floats an idea, it's usually a good idea. But it's like, okay, I need to, no, I mean, it seemed like a no-brainer, honestly, because before, when we had our previous company, I mean, that was kind of the setup we had envisioned. So we had kind of taken a tactical pause and thought about not having the channel together. But after even doing it for a short time separately with the Jester Section Hiker podcast and the Beyond the Trail podcast and all that other stuff, it just made sense to put it all on one. It felt much more natural. So
yeah, it made no sense because I was getting confused on where I was supposed to go. And
Right.
the rule of thumb is, in business, in life, if I'm confused, everybody else is 10 times more confused because I'm supposed to be the one, that's, knowing where I'm supposed to go. So, all right, you guys, we need your comments in the chat, what you guys think about this, and we need your thumbs up. We need to get in the podcast algorithm. That's the other thing that YouTube is doing. So if you're a podcaster, they're not going to throw your podcast into a video algorithm. So they're throwing it into the podcast algorithm. So your thumbs up, your comments, your watch time, all that stuff goes to help us get out there. And if you guys give us thumbs up, we really, really appreciate it. I do want to mention that the audio version of the Jester Section Hiker will remain as part of the Hiking Radio Network. So that is not going anywhere. Again, the audio version of Jester Section Hiker will remain with the Hiking Radio Network. But the live podcasting will now fall under Jester Wallis Productions. I just wanted to throw that out there. Hawk says it's a great idea. So as long as Hawk says it's a great idea, we're good, right?
We have the Hawk seal of approval.
Alonda says it's good. Stella says it's great on YouTube. And again, the number one thing that I enjoy doing more than anything, and the only thing in my mind that is going to help us be successful, are you guys. The community, the trail community, the kayaking community, the outdoor community that is going to help us build our channel. So we appreciate it. Yeah.
Good times.
What do you got, Austin?
Well, I have a story when we're done talking about YouTube.
Okay, okay. I think we've worn YouTube out. So the bottom line is, you guys, what you could expect from me and Austin is we're always progressing, and any good creator, company, entrepreneur, if you're not progressing, you're probably not doing well, is the way I look at it. And, we might change every 10 days because we're new and we're learning.
Progress.
What did I say?
You said we're changing.
Oh, I said change. Oh, no. We're not changing. We're progressing. Yeah. So that's kind of where we are. We're glad you're here. And Austin, you do have something to share with everybody.
Yeah, I was pretty fortunate. So my good friend Pete Beck from River Kings called me. It was a couple weeks ago, and he's like, we were talking because he and I talk a couple times a week, and he's like, "Did you see Ken Whiting's latest upload on YouTube?" And I was like, I was actually about halfway through it, and I got distracted and had to stop. And
now tell everybody who Ken Whiting is.
So Ken Whiting is a world champion kayaker. He's done a whole lot of cool things in kayaks over the years, and he's got a handful of TV shows, and one of them is Paddle TV, and so his YouTube channel is called Paddle TV, and he does some professional level video productions. He actually owns his own media company, and Pete. My buddy Pete had done some collaborations with Ken last year. Ken and his cameraman drove down to North Carolina, and they shot an overnight kayak camping trip, and then they went out to Wilson Creek and did a whitewater run on Wilson Creek. And so he's like, well, Ken's coming down to East Tennessee. Well, Ken's said in his video, "Hey, I'm coming down to East Tennessee," and he's like, "Well, April 14th, he's coming down." I was like, "Well, that's kind of specific," and he's like, "You want to come?" And I was like, and so I looked at my calendar, and I mean, it was just like overflowing with stuff. And so I ended up moving heaven and earth with work, and was able to go out and go with Pete and his son. And we met Ken and Ken's cameraman, Matt. And so for an entire day out on the Tellico River in East Tennessee, I got to hang out with the camera crew, and they shot an episode for Paddle TV on the Tellico River. And I totally geeked out on the camera aspect of it, because what I've learned is being behind the camera is a skill just like any other. And sometimes you can have the most expensive gear, but if your technique and your skill isn't there, it's still going to look like crap. And so it's been something I've been working on, and it'll be a journey for forever. So I don't think I'll ever necessarily arrive. But it was such an amazing opportunity to be a fly on the wall and watch Matt, Ken's cameraman, watch Matt work, and the deliberate manner in which they came in and produced this episode was fascinating. And then on the gear side, like, he's shooting with a, super nice, expensive camera, cinema camera. He's got the super nice drones and all that other stuff. But just watching the process, because for me, whenever, especially like, for instance, when we went out to Haywood County and shot that training event, it was very chaotic for me. And it was a little reassuring, actually, to watch Matt out on the Tellico, because it was chaotic for him too. Like, because he had this just big old bag of goodies, and so he had a couple of cameras and the drone and all this other stuff, and he's scurrying down riverbanks trying to get shots. But it was such an amazing opportunity to get to hang out with them, and then just get to meet Ken, because it's very interesting to watch somebody on YouTube, watch them on the screens for years and years and years, and they get to shake their hand and hang out with them for a little bit. And it's also even more amazing when you find out that they're just as cool, if not cooler, in person as they are on the screen. And Ken and Matt are just 100% wholesome, good people. And you wouldn't even know, like, Ken's just so humble and just so easygoing. You'd never know that he's also just this world champion, kayaker that's done all kinds of cool and crazy things, and can do all kinds of cool and crazy things in a boat. So yeah, awesome opportunity. I owe it all to my good buddy Pete for inviting me.
Isn't Pete going to be on with us sometime or another?
Yeah. He doesn't.
Don't
know
we
it
have
yet,
to tell Pete he's coming on? So yeah, so you guys go check out. Okay. Is it River Kings? That's his channel, yeah. River Kings.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So we went out on the Tellico. I actually paddled it the next day, at least a section of it. So I imagine at some point Pete will put some footage of that up. But yeah, awesome opportunity. Very, very good times.
Awesome. So, another thing that Austin and I swear to you, this is the last thing I said to Austin, like, I don't know, over the weekend or whenever we chatted. I said, well, the episode will only be like 10 or 15 minutes.
And here we are.
I knew that was a lie as soon as I said it.
I think we talked about hiker medals for 10 or 15 minutes.
I think we did. And Hawk is going to get 7 medals and he'll get the 8th free. You'll get a little punch card too with that, Hawk. So everybody says, hey, that's an awesome opportunity. And just so you guys know, Austin, we had to give ourselves titles for this company, which, whatever. I think we titled I'm the operations director, which means I just dig on Google. And then Austin is the creative director and really the filmer, the editor, camera person, whatever you want to call yourself. And for you to have that opportunity to shadow is what I'm going to call it. Not that we're not professional, because our work, we try to be as professional as possible. Okay, Austin, don't tell people. We try to be as professional as possible. What an opportunity to learn. I mean, no college course is going to teach you that. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So,
because Matt's, Matt's been to film school. He's done work with National Geographic. I mean, he's legit. He's one of those guys that does it for a living, travels all over the world, pointing at cameras and stuff. So, I mean, like, that's his profession. He doesn't do anything else for money. So, like, it was really cool to watch somebody that does it professionally and watch them work. Was incredible. So.
Good stuff to come, you guys.
Yeah.
One of the last things I wanted to remember, I'm looking at my notes because I always forget something. In the description below is our new podcast schedule. So one of the things that Austin and I are going to try to do is be consistent with the days and the times that we go live on the show with both of the podcasts. So the Jester Section Hiker will be Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. and Beyond the Trail will be Thursdays at 8 p.m. And the goal is to, and this is going to change. I mean, it's already changed this month. Beyond the Trail will definitely be a once a month show, and we'll probably throw one in there just for fun every month, because what we want to do is just give you guys information on the film we're working on and future projects. And the Jester Section Hiker will be every other Tuesday, and we have the schedule in the description through June of what's happening and what's going on. So we're going to try to be a little better at that. I know myself, for the Jester show, I was all over the place. I was on Sunday, Saturday. And when you're not consistent, people don't know when to come on and join. So that's one of the things that we wanted to do. Would you agree, Austin?
Yeah. Well, consistency is going to be an effort, I think.
Yeah. With our work schedules and things like that, we're going to try. We're already going to break that in May, but we'll keep you posted on what's going on.
Yeah, that rule about consistency, we're pretty much going to break it next month.
We're progressing. We're consistently progressing. There you go. Right. But the schedule that's in the description will happen. Unless Austin doesn't show up or I don't show up. Could happen to either one of us. So we hope you guys take a look at that. We hope you guys give us a thumbs up. I was getting ready to add thumbs and subscribe all to one word. And subscribe to the channel. Join us on this endeavor. And we will 100% keep you posted on what we're doing creatively beyond the trail. And hopefully we'll see some of you here coming up on the 27th. Thumbscribe. There you go.
That's the new word.
The new word, #thumbscribe. And so I think we're good. We've gone well beyond what we said we were going to do. And we just appreciate you guys being here. Love you too, Alonda. We'll see you soon. I know that for sure. Austin, any parting words?
No, really appreciate everybody's support as we progress, and looking forward to the next episode.
Awesome. So we'll end it here, you guys. Be safe out there. And Austin?
Good times.